Hi, welcome to Bonita's Kitchen and thank you for joining us. What I'm going to be making today is a delicious batch of dill pickles. Today's recipe is a viewer's request, so thank you for sending that to us. Of course, we get many requests for canning, sterilizing, and just making all of that delicious goodness in your jars. Of course, today's recipe, we'll get back to that, is dill pickles, and I got here 6 mini cucumbers, and we'll talk about that, how you will cut them, what is your best way, and we'll talk a little bit about canning in general. So if that interests you, stick around and let's get started. So today's recipe, of course, is just going to be a small batch of dill pickles. I got 6 mini dill pickles here, and all I done was rinse them and just pat them dry. That's all you need to do. I got 3 mason jar bottles that we will sterilize and get ready for these dill pickles. And all you need to do, think about what you enjoy. Do you enjoy having dill pickles with sandwiches? Then you're going to cut them sandwich cuts, which would be slanted to the side and about this thin. If you like them quartered and you like to be able to take them out of the jar and have with, we'll turn this one over, have a quarter of a dill pickle because you're snacking. So snack size, sandwich size, whichever way you like to do it, that's the way you're going to cut your mini cucumbers. So I'll do that. I'm going to do half and half for me. And then what you can do is shave off the end parts. Now you don't necessarily have to discard that, but you want it to, that it's going to fit down into your jars snug, depending on the size that you're going to be using, and cutting off any edges that I guess is a little bit no good. You want a size that's going to fit down into your jar, leaving about a ½ inch from the top, because anytime that you're bottling anything, you want to make sure it's about a ½ inch from the rim to the tip. Now I'll put those over in the water now in a second so I can sterilize my jars. But I was just thinking then, I was saying to Raymond, that you can make these different shapes. Of course, you could use a sharp knife or take a fancy little object to make it a little crinkled if you want to just fancy it up a little bit to make those sandwich pickles. So now I'm going to cut some like this and some like the way I got it there, quarterly, and some sliced, and then I'm going to tell you what to do next. I got some hot water that was just finished boiling there, and it's steaming up in my face, and it's giving myself a facial, which that's pretty good today. Now what I'm going to do is put this grate down into the bottom of my boiler, and this is to keep the bottles from touching the bottom. Now if you don't have a grate or any kind of I'm going to say object that you could put on the bottom, you could use foil, those foil pans, or you know, get creative, but something that you could put in there that would help it from touching the bottom of the boiler. And then after, when you put in there your bottles and your lids, I'm going to share this tutorial with you how to sterilize and can your bottles. You put the lid on and all the ways down. I'll fix that bottle there and put it on your stove and let that sterilize for anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. So I'll fix that now in a second. So all I did there was put that bottle to the side and let that just get in there and sterilize in my boiler. So now while that's doing, I'm going to continue cutting up these. I'm going to talk a little bit about this because dill pickles, I think they go from anywhere from $5 to $8, depending on the type that you like having. You can get a sweet dill pickle, you can get a really garlicky, a lot of dill in there. You can dress it up, is what I'm saying, to the type of pickles that you like to have. Now I'll show you today the method that I'm going to use for mine, but you can get creative, because I'll always say make it your own and the flavors that you like having. And again, canning anything, dill pickles, in on our channel we got jams, jellies, beets, etc., and I'll share links with you and direct you to where you can go for those, and I'll show you a few things that I've got canned. So what I'm going to do is finish cutting up these, then I'm going to grab my bottles again and I'll show you what's next, because we need to make some vinegar broth to go over this, and I'll show you that. So what we're going to do now is make our pickling broth to go over this. So what we'll be doing first is putting in 1 cup of water. Now my boiler is dark, so you're not going to see the water and the vinegar going in, but this is going to go on our back stove after to boil. This is 2.5 cups to 3 cups of white vinegar, or you could use pickling vinegar. I got the pickling vinegar air. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
Right there. So, or you could use the white vinegar, so it doesn't matter there. I'm going to be putting in maybe 3 bay leaves and 1 teaspoonful of the pickling seasoning, pickling spice they call it, and that's all different. I'll share what they are with you. You can get that in your grocery store. I'm going to be also putting in there a tablespoonful of pickling salt or sea salt. Now I usually use sea salt for everything, but you can judge what you can get and is available. I'm putting in there 1 teaspoonful of sugar. The reason I'm only putting in 1 teaspoonful of sugar, I don't want this necessarily sweet, but I don't want the vinegar to really be powerful. The sugar and that salt will take that down a little bit, the bite. So now I'm going to put this on my back damper and get it starting to boil. So what I'm going to do now is take my jars out of the boiler. Now I'm going to give full disclosure here today on my jar holder. Back, I'm thinking it's in 2017, we did a tutorial on how to sterilize and can your bottles, but it wasn't really any food, it was just showing you the method of it. I just bought this machine and I said to Raymond, this is perfect. I don't have to take it out with my mitt, and or you know, sometimes I've been known to pull it out with my hand as well. Anyway, I had it on upside down. So the video will show you that it's upside down. I'm taking the bottles out of the hot water like that. And after we realized, and it was too late, it was posted. So we've had so many people put in a comment, do you know you're holding that the wrong way? I didn't. I do now. I kept it. I didn't toss it away because I said to him, wow, what a beautiful machine for taking those bottles out of the boiler. So anyway, full disclosure, thank you to everyone that have seen that video and or is going to see that video and is going to say, oh Bonita, what have you done? Yeah. But that's it. That's the way you can. Now everybody cans different. In my years of canning and listening to my mom talking, she had a total different method altogether. When you're bottling or sealing your bottles, it's not necessary to go over. You don't have to have this big canning boiler and have the water totally over the bottles. You can if you want to, if you're afraid it's not going to seal. But 1/4 the ways up your boiler is more than enough. When you put your bottles in, that would rise. What is sealing your bottles, not necessarily sterilizing your bottles, is the steam in the boiler. And that locks everything in and it keeps it sealed, and of course you'll see the way that you would test it. So look at that tutorial, I'll share that with you. Thank you for listening to me rant about that. Now I'm going to show you what to do next to make these delicious dill pickles. And of course I should have said at the beginning, make sure everything's clean. Of course your hands is clean, the bottle holder is washed really good and cleaned, and of course the little tube that you're going to be using to pour in the liquid is also cleaned and, well, it's not necessarily sterilized, but cleaned well so that nothing is getting cross-contaminated. So the ones that we got that's done in little small quarters, you'll put them right on into your bottle. Now I'll leave that one there. That's a snack for Raymond now in a second. We're also going to be putting in there 1 garlic clove in each one, because I just want an inch of garlic in mine. And we're going to be putting in there as well a half a teaspoonful of dill weed. You can put fresh dill if you got it. You could put more garlic if you want to. You can have more sugar if you want it sweet. And that's entirely up to you. So we're going to put that in each one. And I'm going to continue adding the pickles in there that I got cubed for sandwich size cubes. And then we'll reach for our vinegar. So all you're doing here with the vinegar is bringing it to a boil. You're not necessarily getting it, cooking it or anything. You just want to bring it to a boil because you want to put the hot liquid over your dill pickles. I'm putting a bay leaf in each one and some of those pickling spices. Then what you can do, again, if you want something in there, maybe you might like to have a hot pepper in there or something else. That is entirely up to you. So you make these your own, creative. If you like even a little bit of mustard in there, not necessarily making mustard pickles, you just want your favorite tint of mustard in there, you can put it in while you're boiling your vinegar. That's the good time to do it, and that'll just give it that flavor. And then you can put it in here hot. So pretty much all I'm doing here now is filling those up, leaving a half inch or about a half inch down the bottle, so that get that bay. I'll poke that bay leaf down there. It is giving a little bit of a way on the top there, because you need that room for the air to come out. So I'm just going to take my finger here and just poke this down into the vinegar. And that's all you need to do there. Now what you're going to do is take a piece of paper towel or just a cotton cloth and clean around the top. You don't need no vinegar sitting there on the rims. And you want to put your cap and your ring on finger tight. That's all. So I'll do the same with the other two. And then I'm going to put it back into the water bath to seal. And that could be anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes after the water is at a boiling stage before you put your bottles in. And that's all you need to do there. So after you've put your lids on finger tight, take the bottle and shake the dill and all of those spices, the pickling spices, together in the jar. Then you're going to take it, put it back into the boiler to seal. This one I'm going to put a little to the side, put the lid on, and then again anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. And now what I'm going to do is talk a little bit about previous canning. Just a quick recap before we get going on that. When you're sterilizing your bottles, anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes, keep it in the sterilizer or in your boiler until you're ready to use them. Keep them hot, and then when you're ready to seal them, like I'm doing now, anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. And again, I'll share that tutorial with you, and you don't have to worry about that. Now, these are previous things that I've bottled over the last year, and some is 2 years. We got partridge jam, which is my favorite, apple butter, pickled eggs. We got apple pickles, cranberry sauce. Then that's our apple sauce. This is the marmalade jam, zucchini pickles, beets, and this one is the sweet apple wedges. These are some things that you could make on your own, picking up things on sale, of course. I don't recommend going out and filling up a cart full of stuff and costing you a fortune. But if you can get things on sale, come home and put them in jars and enjoy them for as long. I gift these. We have it all winter long into the summer, and I usually try to make new in the fall, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just continue on having them. So that's a few things. I'll share those links, of course, at our website, www.bonitaskitchen.com. All you got to do is go in and put in pickles, and all of the pickles would come up. We got pumpkin pickles and so much more. So what I'm going to do now is pull those dill pickles out of my boiler, put them there, and that's it. Then they're done. So now I'm going to take my jars of pickles out of the boiler, and what you got to look at here, if you want to store these for long-term storing, make sure you do this. Make sure you do the sealing process. But if you're only making a couple of jars and you know you're going to eat it over the next couple of weeks to a month, well, don't worry about it. Just seal them like you did, put them in your fridge, keep them there. But this way you can keep them in your cold storage. And now I'm going to show you a little closer what they look like. So just take them out, put them at, so if you're going to be doing this sealing process, put them out at room temperature like this until you hear those tops pop. When they're sealed, as you can see there, sometimes they seal within the boiler. Sometimes when you put it out and go to room temperature, you'll hear them pop. And then what you would do after it goes to room temperature, take the top off, this twist top, and just check it with your finger to see if it's sealed. If it's not, like you said, you'll keep it in the fridge. But that's all you need to do there. I'll share the tutorial, and this is it. Delicious dill pickles. Now that's how easy it is to make your own homemade dill pickles. We will supply the recipe for you, and under this video it's either an arrow pointing down or a see more. Just click that link and it'll be there. We will also share with you our website, www.bonitaskitchen.com, if you want this recipe or any other of our canning recipes that we've done to date. If you got any more questions on this recipe, you could leave me a message at the bottom of this video, or you can send me a message at bonitakitchen@gmail.com, or visit us on our Facebook page. We would love to hear from you. Before you go, if you haven't subscribed to Bonita's Kitchen, we appreciate if you do so, and hit the bell, because we will send you notifications every time we post a new video, and we do that every Sunday. Also, if you already subscribed to Bonita's Kitchen, thank you in advance. We so appreciate each and every one of you for doing that. And we won't take any more of your time because we know it's precious. On behalf of myself, Raymond, and our team here at Bonita's Kitchen, and from our kitchen to yours, you have a wonderful day. And don't forget to join us again on Bonita's Kitchen.
Always an open door. Bonita's Kitchen to yours. Bonita's Kitchen. To yours.
So that's how easy it is to make your own homemade dill pickles.